Okay, so please now pay close attention. Lot of important things I would like to discuss at this moment. So important instructions for the course end examination. The dates to start with, I want to give you 2 or 3 months to prepare. So the course end examination will be held on the last day of July, and I will give you 72 hours. So 31st July to 3rd August from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. Please convert it into your own time zone. So last day of July, 2-3 more days till 3rd day of August. This is the exact date and time of the examination. I'm announcing it in 3 months in advance so that you can keep some part of this duration for your dedicated exam. Now, it is important that, a general rule at Vyoma Pathashala is that the exam must be conducted within 8 to 10 days of the last class. So I cannot conclude the course in June and ask you to take the exam in the beginning of August. So the conclusion is that the course will continue till 3rd week of July. I can go slowly. Maybe I can take 1 hour classes. Maybe I can skip a class on some Thursday or Friday. I'll organize that schedule, but the course will go till say 20th of July, and then within 10 days there will be exam. So unfortunately, I cannot stop the course or I cannot conclude the course at end of May or end of June. I'll have to take it all the way till say mid July or 20th of July or something, and then we will have the exam towards the end of July. So that is the general plan for the exam and the continuation of the course. Earlier I mentioned that the exam will be 24 hours. I am extending it to 3 days, so 72 hours of duration is the general duration of the exam. The syllabus and the details about the exam, everything from the first class to the last class is in the scope of the exam. Obviously, there is no question about it. There will be 100 marks, multiple choice questions. You do not have to write anything. You just have to select the correct answer. There will be 100 multiple choice question. Each question carries 1 mark, total 100 marks. There is no negative marking. So please attempt every question. Each question will have 5 options: A, B, C, D, E. And they are exactly like that: A, B, C, D, E. One of those will be, or one or more of those will be correct. So sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes three, four, or all 5. One of these or more of these will be correct. You have to select all the correct answers and no wrong answers, and then you will get marks. Otherwise, you will select everything and you might claim that I have already selected a right answer. That's not going to work. You have to only select the correct answers and all the correct answers, and you'll get the marks for that. Obviously, the exam is open book, open notes. You are free to refer to whatever material you want, whether it is related to the class or not related to the class. I really don't mind. The only thing that is not allowed is asking your friends, your colleagues, your teacher, asking on various WhatsApp groups about, pasting the question or the related question over there and asking the answer. That is not allowed. Again, I am not going to monitor. It's everybody has to monitor on their own. You're free to use any books, notes, online videos, anything. You're not allowed to use a help from another person. That is the rule. Now let me talk a little bit about the style of the questions. This is very important part. This will help you to prepare for the exam. So there are going to be 100 questions. The 100 questions will flow one after the other. There are no sections, no subsections or anything. So it's just the 100 questions flowing one of the other, one after the other. However, the questions will be, in general, they will belong to 5 different styles, 5 different themes. So there are 5 different themes around which the question paper is being created. Each theme has around 20 questions. It may be more or less here and there, but each theme has around 20 questions, and these will be mix and matched. So you won't have subsections like theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, and so on. There'll be 100 questions. The question will be mix and match of various themes. The 5 themes will be intermixed with each other throughout the paper. Some questions may even belong to more than one theme. So what I'm going to do right now is explain these 5 themes and say I'll give you 1 or 2 sample questions on each of them so that it becomes easier for you to prepare your studies if you want to in those particular themes. So the first theme of question is the simplest one. These questions will be directly based on the course material. So the answers to these questions will be directly available in the course slide, some course documents, some of the 12 sheets, course videos, even homework documents. So the answers will be directly in front of your eyes. You just have to visit the right resource. So maybe the answer is there in, say, class number 24, slide number 7, something like that. So the questions, the answer will be right in front of your eyes. You will have to go to the proper resource, look at the answer and write it. Obviously, if you know the answer, there is no need to go and visit any resource. So example over here, simple. These are the simplest type of questions. So eteshu krutya samyaka pratyayaha ke. So krutya is the first of the 12 sheets. So if you go to the first sheet, on the top of that sheet, there is a list of all krutya samyak pratyayas. You look which of them is there and you do a tick mark. So eteshu krutya samyaka pratyayaha ke. This is a simple question. It can be answered by looking at the PPTs or the 12 documents. Second, एतेषु णोपदेशाः धातवाः धातवः typing mistake. एतेषु णोपदेशाः धातवः के. So which of these are णोपदेश धातुs? This has been explained in one of the slides. If you go to say Dhatvadhikara class, one of those initial classes, one of the slides gives list of dhatus that are not anopadeshas. So by negation, you can just say all others are anopadeshas. So again, this is, and again, I have given the commentaries are available. You can look at the commentaries. Dhatu Patha is available. You can go to Dhatu Patha, use filters and find out the answer to this. So all the answers are directly there. A little bit of searching investigation is needed. This is the first style of questions. All that you do is prepare the material properly and you will get the full score over here. The answers will be there in course PPTs, 12 sheets, course videos, homework documents, and so on. So that's the first style of questions. The second style of question is a little bit complex than this, where the answers to these questions will need to be worked out by collecting the material that you have learned across various classes. So you will not find the answer in any particular class, but the knowledge that you have learned across, say, 5 different classes, you have to bring it together and then you will automatically get the answer to this particular question. So here is an example. Bhudhatoho vihitaha kati krut pratyayaha idagamam svikurvanti. Now we have not learned this in any particular PPT, but we have learned idagama across various PPTs. We have learned various pratyas. We have learned the concept of idagama. We have learned bhudhatu also. So you think about it. Which of the pratyas get idagama? Which of those pratyas can be applicable to bhudhatus? Which of those are actually present in, say, krudanta prakaranam? You combine all of them together and then say there's 6 of them, for example, or 5 of them, for example. You choose, select the correct answer. So bhudhatoho vihitaha kati krut pratyayaha idagamam svikurvanti. You have to collect the knowledge across the various classes and you will easily come up with the answer to this question. Another example, karmani ana, very well known sutram, karmanyana ityasya sthane karmaninaha iti sutram kriyate chet kutra kutra doshaha bhavet. So we have studied various sopanas of the prakriya in various classes. Recollect all of them at once. If there is a karmani naha sutram, will there be a problem in angakarya? So angakarya depends on the nakara, angakarya depends on the akara. So is that causing a problem? Will there be a problem in the varnakarya? Will there be a problem in the tripadikarya? What will happen if you want to add a stri pratyay on the top of it? What would happen if you want to add a, say, vibhakti pratyay, kumbhakaraha, and so on? So kutra kutra doshaha bhavet. So again, this question I have not taught in a single class, but the knowledge for this question has been delivered across multiple classes together. So the second theme of questions is about applying the knowledge that has been learned across multiple classes. The first theme was about a single class. The second theme is about the multiple classes. Let's move on to theme number 3. Now from this place onwards, the application oriented questions start. So I know many of you, or rather most of you, are studying this course because they want to learn Krudanta Prakaranam and apply it somewhere. So studying Vyakaranam for something else, Kanadam Paniniyam Sarvashastroparakam. Some of you might want to study Sahityam, Vedas, Vedantas, and so on. And therefore you are studying Vyakaranam over here. Therefore, these questions are now focused towards that particular requirement, that particular goal. So in this theme of questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a Subhashitam, which will be mostly well known. So like all of you have given some kind of exams, Samskrita Bharati exams, Chittur exams, whatever, or some other introductory exam. Many of you are teaching to students, many of you are teaching various Samskrita Bharati courses. So some Subhashitam that will be definitely familiar to you all, such a Subhashitam will be given, and Krudanta related questions on that Subhashitam will be asked. So some popular shloka or popular Subhashitam will be given, and grammar related questions will be asked based on it. Two questions on each Subhashitam, approximately 10 Subhashitam, 20 questions. So example, say karmanyevadhikaraste, everybody knows this shlokam, right? Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhu ma te sangostva karmani. अस्मिन् श्लोके अधिकारः इति शब्दः विद्यते, तत्र कः कृत् प्रत्ययः अस्ति? So you need, so this is the real place where you will use your knowledge of Krudanta Prakaranam after the course ends. When you look at a shloka, all that you have learned in this course will be applicable to have a better understanding of that shloka, and this is the beginning of that. So atra adhikara shabde kaha krut pratyaya asti, so multiple options will be given, you have to pick one of them. और संग इति शब्दः अस्ति, अस्मिन् शब्दे विद्यमानस्य धातोः औपदेशिकस्वरूपं किम्? सो संग इत्यत्र यः कोऽपि धातुः अस्ति तस्य औपदेशिकं रूपं किम्? So again, the answers are mostly not necessarily found at one or the other places, but they are based on your overall understanding of the course material. And if you have understood the course, there is nothing to prepare. These questions are extremely simple. All that you need to do is understand what the material that has been taught, understand properly, work out prakriyas, do homeworks, and everything will be easy. So this is the third theme of the question, where a well-known subhashitam will be given and grammar questions on that subhashitam will be asked. The next theme of question, the fourth theme of question, is very similar to the third theme of questions, but this time an unknown passage will be given to you, an unknown subhashitam will be given to you. So a subhashitam which many of you might not have learned. For example, if I pick a random line from Abhijnana Shakuntalam, random line from say Uttar Ramacharitam, there is a very little chance that you have studied it. So in that sense, it is unknown. Unknown doesn't mean, created by me or something. Unknown is something that is in a remote place in the literature, and then grammar related questions will be asked to you. So an unknown passage excerpt from some kavya, some nataka will be given. Grammar related questions will be asked. Say 4 passages, 5 questions. So 4 passages will be given, 5 questions on each. Important thing is you will not be required to know the meaning of that passage. So if I randomly pick up a line from Uttara Ramacharitam, I do not expect you to know the meaning of that line. There is no need to procure an Uttara Ramacharitam book and look in the book for the meaning. None of these questions depend on your understanding of the meaning of the shloka or that particular passage. So here is, for example, Kiratarjunya Kavyasya Kashana Amshaha Adha Dattaha Asi. So this is a shloka from Kiratarjuniyam. So tasya adharena tatat dattanam panchanam prashnanam uttarani likhata. 5 grammar questions on each, 4 such, except 4 sub passages, 4 such shlokas will be given. So this is a shloka from Kiratarjuniyam. I don't expect you to know it or to understand the meaning. But you can see there is a word called Jishnu over here. So asmin parichede vidyamane Jishnu shabde kaha krut pratyayah. So all that I expect is you know the glajisthas chaksnu sutram properly, and then you get this. So your grammar knowledge is being tested, your Sahitya knowledge is not being tested over here. But explicitly I'm picking up prayogas from Sahitya because prayoga sharanaha vayyakaranaha. Instead of giving random prayogas, it is always better to give prayogas from the literature. So अस्मिन् परिच्छेदे विद्यमाने जिष्णु शब्दे कः प्रत्ययः, और अस्मिन् श्लोके कति निष्ठा प्रत्ययान्त शब्दः. So you look at each shabda, use vachaspathyam or whatever kalpadruma if you want for complex words, see if there are nishtha pratyayanta words or not, count the number of nishtha pratyayanta words. So none of these questions require you to know the meaning or the context of Kiratarjuniyam Kavya. In the same way, no questions for theme 4 or theme 3, even that Subhashitam. You'll not need to know the meaning. Is just purely grammar based questions, again application oriented questions. So that is the fourth theme. Again, some 20 questions in this particular theme will be there. The final theme is purely based on grammar. So as I said, theme 3 and theme 4 are, primarily for those of you who are interested in using grammar for something else. But we have students in the class who are studying grammar for the sake of studying grammar. So this fifth theme is primarily for those in the sense everybody has to attempt, but it's taken targeted with those people in mind. So some passages from the Ashtadhyayi commentaries will be given. So I'll pick a passage from Kashika, I'll pick a passage from Kaumudi, I'll pick a passage from Nyasa, I'll pick a passage from Mahabhashyam. I will give the passage to you along with the reference. So I'll say this passage comes from, say, Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Luninnechaha, something like that. The passage will be given to you. There'll be questions related to that passage. So here is again an example. Nishtha Sutrasya Mahabhashyasya Anshaha Tadiyate. So I picked up a few lines from the Nishtha Sutram of the Mahabhashya Vyakhyan of Nishtha Sutra, and there will be some questions, some 4 or 5 questions on that particular passage. So Asmin Parichede Bhashyakaraha Bhavini Samya iti Shabdam Prayunkte. Bhavini Samya ityasya kaha arthaha. So this has been taught in the class. So many such things will be taught in the class. Because it is a grammar course, it is my responsibility to make sure that it has been taught in the class. So I won't expect you to interpret random stuff from the random sutras of Ashtadhyayi commentaries. These will be the sutras of Krudanta Prakaranam only. The commentaries would be taught in the class. So in a way, this is kind of a simpler question, because if you have studied all the sessions till now in details, if you have studied the Shastra Charcha, understood the Shastra Charcha, this question is a piece of cake for you. So Bhavini Samya, we have spent sessions after sessions talking about Bhavini Samya in multiple contexts. So that's the allows you to give the answer to this particular question. So this is the general theme of 5 questions or 5 types of questions, 20 questions in each theme, a total of 100. Let me quickly rewind 1 minute. The first is the simplest one. You will get the answers in one of the PPTs, videos, documents. The second is collecting the knowledge across various classes, various documents. The third is about the well-known Subhashitas. The fourth is about unknown passages from the Kavyas. The fifth is about the Vyakhyanas, the commentaries of Ashtadhyayi. Now somebody is asking, what are the minimum passing marks? There is no minimum passing marks or anything. If you get 100, I'll be the happiest one. But try to get as much as you can. I think there is a policy of Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala that they give the certificates if the marks is more than 60. That has been their traditionally policy for many courses. I'll check with them. I'll try to request them that this is going to be a tough exam. I mean, it's not actually tough, but this course ran for 2 years. So let's reduce that to say 50 or 40 or whatever. But I'll make sure that everybody gets a certificate of participation or whatever. So personally, from my side, there is no pass, fail, cut off or anything. You're all attending here for 2 years. That itself is a big thing for all of us. From Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala, they might have a certain limit for the certificate or whatever. I'll check with them and I'll let you know. There is another question. If, for example, there are 3 correct answers, and if I only select 2 correct answers, then will I get some points? So no, you won't get any points. There are no fractional marking. It is either 1 mark or 0 marks. If there are 3 correct answers in the question, you have to select all the 3 correct answers and then you get 1 point. If you forget a correct answer or if you select a wrong answer, you get 0 points. So there is no fractional marking. It is 1 or 0 for every question. It's as simple as that. The paper is not difficult. If you have so it might look like that the questions is difficult. So somebody is saying that some of these questions are difficult, they will need a dedicated study and so on. No, if you have been regularly studying and doing the homeworks, which is all that I've been saying again and again, that's all that I need. No question will be out of the syllabus. Not a single question will require you anything that is not taught in the course. Everything is being taught in the course, but you need to really pay attention, because we have studied so many complex things. Paryudasa versus Prasidha Pratishedha, Nimitta Saptami versus Vishaya Saptami. We have studied so many variety of things. The course has been so versatile that there are definitely things that you will miss up and end up in losing marks. In order to avoid that, just listen to the classes. Once or twice listening to each class is all that is needed. Don't worry about it. The paper is not difficult. It is simple. It is, I mean, Kavya and all that you can't prepare also. So for question theme 3, theme 4, you won't even be able to prepare. You don't know what Kavya I'm going to give. So all that you have to do is you have to keep your basics perfect, basics clear, and then everything will follow. Okay, there are a couple of more things. Method of submission I'll talk about at some later point in time, near the exam, towards the exam, how to submit the paper and so on. But before that, I also mentioned at the beginning of the course that we have another goal of this course, chanting of chapter 3. And some of you have already started, some of you have also completed 4 padas, some of you have completed a fraction of that, and so on. So we also want to conduct a separate chanting exam, nothing to do with this current exam, but separate chanting exam. And you are free to give this chanting exam at any point in time from now till the end of the course. So the end exam is going to happen on 31st July. So starting from today, or say starting from 1st May up to 1st August, anytime if you are interested, you are free to give the exam. You can write to me, or you can write to Soumya ji, Venkat ji from Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala, and they will arrange it for you. You can even give the exam in parts. So you can say that I want to give the exam only for 3.1, and then in June I want to give for 3.2, and then in July I want to give for 3.3. That is also okay. You can give the exam per pada, or you can give the exam in one shot. It is completely up to you. I won't be directly examining you, because you need a proper teacher who has that kind of ear to pick up ups and downs and rasva dirgha and so on. People who are trained in that style are the right people to do that examination. So it need not go through me. But if you want, I can connect you with Venkatji or Soumyaji, and then you can follow up with them for the exam, the recitation exam. Somebody is asking, is it a recitation or a memorization? It is a memorization. Sorry, when I said recitation, it's you don't have to look in the book. It has to be memorization. So you can either close your eyes and chant, or you can just say that you're not looking on the book or on the website and chant. So it is definitely not reading examination. It is a memorization examination. You can take it either full chapter 3, or you can take it pada by pada, 3.1, 3.2, completely up to you. And you can directly reach out to Vyoma Pathashala. They have promised that they will give you certificates that also will be arranged for this particular chanting, separate from the final exam. So I think that is all. I will now conclude. People, okay, there's one question. It says at one point you gave a choice of only one pada. That is correct. So if you are only interested in, or if you're only able to chant or memorize one pada, you can give the exam for one pada. Then maybe after 2 months, if you want another pada, you can give another pada, and so on. What I'm saying is that the evaluation for the memorization is separate. The evaluation for the 100 marks exam is separate. They are not going to happen together. So you can define your own goals separately. The only reason is in order to keep some time limit, some boundary, I have said that the course officially ends on 1st August. So before that, you have to do. You can of course do in November, and if they are okay, they are the ones to give you certificate. I'm not going to play object, or I'm not going to question at all. So in general, to give you some kind of deadline window, I'm saying that let's finish it till 1st August. But if, for example, you say that I'm not able to memorize after 1st August, I'll go in 1st September. That's okay with me. Shouldn't be a problem. Now, there are a few questions. People can disconnect because we are running out of time, but let me take a few questions that is over here. Is it possible to have the recording of the 4th pada? I'll give it. I'll obtain it from the Vyoma Pathashala, and I'll give it to you. So I think I'll reach out to you in person over email, and I'll give the recording of the fourth pada. So somebody who says, I just want to use the fourth, I just want to memorize the fourth pada. If you have a particular requirement of a certain pada, I'll give you the recording and you can memorize it, specific pada, that specific pada. Uh, can it be purchased from the Vyoma? Yes, of course. Somebody's asking, can we purchase Ashtadhyayi recording from the Vyoma? Of course. I mean, you can definitely purchase Ashtadhyayi recording from the Vyoma. If you want, you can purchase it. If you want, I can provide it. So for chapter 3, I'm allowed to provide you the recordings because it has been the part of the course. If you're interested, I can provide. If you're interested, you can purchase it from the Vyoma. Ashtadhyayi website also has audio. Somebody is saying, yes, Ashtadhyayi website also has audio, but it is one sutra at a time. So actually, those of you who don't know, we also have a chanting section over here. Ashtadhyayi Parayanam section is there. So Ashtadhyayi Parayanam, if you go over there, it is say 3.1. If you go to 3.1, all the audios are over here, but they are one by one. So you'll have to click a single audio and then it will run, and then click another one and it will run. It's because the purpose of this interface is different. The purpose of this interface to memorize, and if you are stuck at some place, you click on the audio and you listen to the correct pronunciation. That's the purpose of this interface. So I mean, if you want, I'll give you the audio. If you want, you can purchase it from the Vyoma Pathashala. Either way is okay. I think that's it. Samapayamaha. So I'll give you some time to recover from all the things that are running in the mind for this exam. Exam is not going to be difficult. It will basically test your the understanding of the subject and application. How you are able to apply it across various kavyas. That's all that we are going to test.